So there's like orgasm, and then there's completely losing your mind and leaving the planet and being gone and having all your stories and all your blocks and everything completely gone. And so that's what I've been guiding people through. And at the time, all it was ultimate sexual pleasure. And then once I learned hypnotherapy and I started learning more about, you know, the therapeutic aspects and the hypnosis, I realized that the state of orgasm is a profound state of trance, like the most profound state of trance.
This is Private Matters. I'm Max van Praag. We explore what is intimacy, and we help people thrive in life through intimacy, talking to professionals and people all over the world who have unusual experiences and journeys that that people can benefit from. Today's show is about sexual healing, and this is a couple that has a very, very special message. I'm talking today to Ben and Jen Rody. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, and you two are in a marriage. You met 6 months ago, and you got married 5 months ago.
Yes.
And you are doing healing work, and a lot of people go to a therapist and talk about their problems. But this is not how you help people with issues around sexuality. Right. You actually do hands-on healing work, especially with women.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we always, when somebody starts to get too into their story in a session, we say we're not talk therapy. we work through the body.
You do.
Right.
You work through the body, and you work with the G-spot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a book by Peter Levine called Waking the Tiger. It's one of the best books on healing trauma.
I know.
And in the book, he says, he talks about how in Western society, our mode of working with trauma is talk therapy, and we just talk about our problems for 50 years, and he says that that's a wholly inadequate way of doing it. The mind is only half the equation. And so we work with the body at the same time as we work with the mind and the energetic body.
Not just the body, but the sexual, the sexual center,
body,
and the sexual energy. You go right in there.
It's like a sponge. The G-spot is like a sponge, and there is so much stored there. I mean, shame and guilt and anger and all of that. It just sucks it in.
And it's like a button that unleashes just electricity, 120 volts flowing through her body, and just resets everything.
Very energizing, cleansing when it's released.
Sexual energy is so healing, and it's something that we're told not to experience, especially in this day and age where we're all Catholic and Christian and saying, no, you can't experience sexuality, don't have sex, don't orgasm. Orgasm is a direct connection to source. Orgasm is healing. Orgasm is where you clear all your shit.
And this changes your whole life. You do sessions with you, and people come to you, and it permeates into all aspects of their lives, I imagine.
Right. So we call it sexual healing, but it doesn't have to be sexual healing. We have people come in that are completely open sexually and fine with lovers and have no issues around the sex, but they're looking for something in, either maybe intimacy or maybe
manifesting.
Maybe manifesting a new job, a new business, or blowing up their business, manifesting clients.
Yeah, the sacral chakra is a very, we think of it as a sexual center, but orgasm is a powerful state for manifestation. It's a creative center. I mean, we can create a baby, but we can create anything in orgasm. And so anything that someone wants to manifest and has a block around, whether it's job-related, partner-related, anything that they're looking for in their life, money, abundance, can all come in through the sacral. It can all come in through that sexual energy flowing freely through the body, creativity, art, music, all of that.
And you work with affirmations during the healing process.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Around what people want to create.
Yes.
Right. So we start off with the intake, which we talk about exactly what they want and how we're going to get them there. And then when we get into session, we clear those blocks, and we know that those blocks are cleared. Like maybe, let's say they're blocks to their business.
Or, okay,
yeah, so the blocks to having their business blow up could be, you know, several things. It could be, you know, releasing control, letting go of control. It could be trusting. It could be being seen, being heard. And these things are all going to come up in their sex as well, in their orgasm. And so if they're laying on the table and they're not expressing their voice and they're not comfortable with being heard, that's going to come out in their everyday life as well.
Yeah.
So we get them to use their voice. We get them to express themselves,
and move their body
step into their
to
power.
Express it. It's full embodiment. So, right, which is why it's so different than talk therapy, because it's not just in the mind. It's you're getting this fully, and you're fully embodying the goddess self.
Yeah, and then they can go off into their business and be heard and finally get their message out. And so a lot of times...
fulfill their life purpose, basically. It's really about life purpose in a lot of cases.
Yeah, and so there's the body, mind, and the spirit. And if you, let's say you got a talk therapy and you clear the, let's see, mine was this one. You clear the mind, right? You still got body and spirit, and then mind ends up getting sucked back into it. If you go to, spirit, go to some kind of a spiritual healer, you clear that, and then you still got the body and the mind. And then the spirit eventually gets dragged back. So we take care of all three of them at once, and there's nothing left to grab onto. We have a practice that we've invented, we've created based on years of just researching sex, sexuality, the mind, psychology, and putting them together. And so basically it's a mix of hypnotherapy, sexological bodywork, and Reiki. And it's not any of those things at the same time. It is its own thing.
It's its own thing, and
Absolutely.
it's very much fueled by your relationship. What I know about you is you met 6 months ago. You got married 5 months ago,
Yes.
which is very unusual. I want everybody to know this. You got married 1 month after you met. That's real knowing.
When
and
you
clarity.
know, you know.
Yes.
When you know, you know.
Yes.
You call yourself twin flames.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yeah, so twin flames are, oh my goodness, there's just so much coming in on the planet with twin flames incarnating on the planet right now. And twin flames are very different than soulmates. We have lots of soulmates who we choose to incarnate with over and over again, and we tend to have a lot of karma with them, but it's all life lessons. And so like our family members are almost always soulmates, for instance, but they may have not always been family members. In different lifetimes we may have been in relationships with them, and our best friends are our soulmates. So twin flames are very different. Twin flames very rarely come into physical being together, incarnate together. Usually one would be in physical form and one serves as the guide. And often actually the sex or intimacy guide. So your twin flame would be your specific guide that would help you with your soulmate relationship for life. So it's really, really lovely that twin flames are incarnating on the planet right now, because it's all about life purpose. And so with the two of us coming together, it's about us forming this union and this life purpose together.
But are you saying that twin flame is not always supposed to marry or to stay in relationship? They can also come to wake you up? Or is that the soulmate?
Anything is possible. In general, twin flames are going to come together.
They are going to come together.
Union. Yeah, they're going to be married, or they're going to be.
And that you have only one, or you have many?
You have only one. So just like we're in this planet of this world of duality, and so we have this idea of light and dark, up, down, good, bad. Of course, none of that is real, but masculine, feminine, and so it's if you think of it as like one soul that's been Adam and Eve. That's been divided into two pieces. And twin flames do not need to both be a man and a woman. It could be two women, but one's going to be more masculine, one's more feminine.
Sure.
Vice versa. I've met lots of gay couples who are twin flames. Yeah. It's really lovely.
So, if you are twin flames, are you also soulmates?
No.
It's different.
We're soul family.
We're soul family.
Yeah, those are all amazing questions. Yeah, those are all really common questions. We're soul family, soul group.
Most people are familiar with soulmates and want to find their soulmate, and some people believe they only have one, and some people believe they have many.
Right.
Yeah, and I've never heard of twin flames until I met her. And when I saw her, I've been in, I've been in a few relationships, and I've always known that there's something else out there. Like there's always this part of me that's saying, there's something else. This isn't it. This isn't it. As great as they may be, I've always known there was something else.
Yeah.
The second I saw her, I knew there was nothing else. And we got married in a month.
Yeah. And it's really common.
So there was no courtship? To tell us how this went?
No,
basically no courtship.
So she moved into my house 30 days to the day after meeting her, and we didn't have our first kiss until the night before.
Yeah.
Oh, but you were hanging out, you were spending time together.
I think we'd spent
maybe 3 hours total.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 hours during the first month?
Yes,
exactly.
exactly.
We were both busy.
Yeah.
She was living an hour away from me. We talked on the phone a little bit. We texted quite a bit, and then we married.
Yeah. Yeah.
So 2 days after she moved in.
And with twin flames, it's very common for them when they meet for at least one of them to have to know who the other one is, whether it's through dream visitation, through having a meditation and visualizing that person, so to actually know who that person is. So with him, I had actually seen him in dream form, where actually he was astral projecting to me for 1.5 years. Before we met. So when I met him, I knew exactly who he was. I recognized him. I knew what he looked like. I knew what his energy felt like. And he knew who I was as well.
I do a hypnosis thing that I developed that is to help people find their, what I call the ideal lover. And what she says is now she knows, she lets me, let me in on the secret that it's the twin flame. So I do a twin flame meditation that I guide people through, and where they feel the energy of their ideal lover, their twin flame. They really feel it, and like imagine holding that person and feeling the energy and what that's going to feel like, and then having them pulled away from them. And
so you weren't,
so when I saw her, I knew
you
it was
weren't
her.
physically intimate until you actually got married,
right?
And you knew that everything was going to be fine. That how he was going to feel like, and how she was going to feel like. You knew this before you got married. There was no question.
No.
That things were not going to fall into place.
Yeah, nothing.
Right.
I mean, there's actually nothing I think that either of us were more certain of.
Yeah, I had always had uncertainties in my previous relationships, and I had actually made a promise to myself and basically to the world that I would never be married and I was never going to have kids. And as soon as I met her, now I'm married and we're going to have kids. I just had never seen a future with anyone before, and now I see my entire future with her. I see our homes, I see our business, I see helping people, I see everything, I see our children.
Yeah, and I see from where I'm sitting how your relationship is impacting the world.
Yeah.
How without doing anything in particular, just because you found each other, people can feel that, people can feel hope for themselves.
Yeah.
They can feel, okay, I have never met my soulmate or my twin flame, but there is hope for me. There is situations where things just come together magically and perfectly, and everybody benefits.
Yeah, people think that it needs to take time. Like, maybe in a couple years I'll find my twin flame, but boom, it happens
it can happen immediately.
out of nowhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so she sees energy, so we did our first session together and on a friend of ours, and afterwards she was like, vibrating with all the energy.
I was blown away.
She's never seen that much energy release. She's never seen anything like it, and she said, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
Did you know about G-spot healing and massage?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
Honestly, no. I knew very little. I mean, I'm a Reiki master. I work with the angels and guides. I'm very woo-woo. And so for me, when he first started talking to me, and I do healing, I do hands-off healing, I do distance healing, and I was like, I can heal people without even touching them. Why do you need to use this? Why is this necessary? And then energetically, because I do see energy, I was able to see that way that the energy was moved, and the lower chakras are much harder to clear in women and in men, in my clients and in myself. And so to see such a vast amount of energy clear in such a way that was so quickly transformative and lasting just blew me away. And I thought, wow, this is really powerful stuff. And often husbands are sending their wives in saying, please help, and
yeah, because there's a story that they have around their relationship. The sex has been a certain way for 15 years or 1 year. It doesn't matter. There's a story, and that story gets stuck unless an outside force acts on it. you know?
Yes.
And so having the boyfriend or husband there in the initial sessions, that story is still going to be there, and she's not allowed to have a new story. So we leave him out of it for a while. We work with her and leave him out of it, and then if he wants to, if she wants him to, after we open her up, after a few sessions and she's completely opened up, her sexuality is glowing, everything's moving, then we can bring him in and show him how we do what we do so that he can give this to her for the rest of their lives.
Yes.
Yeah, and I work with single men. I've actually trained more women how to do this than men.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, women are like, yeah, what is this amazing thing that I can do with my body?
Yeah.
And that I can, I mean, straight women that want to learn how to do this to, everyone's interested.
And lesbians.
Where did you learn? Can you say a few words about your background, or who your teachers were, who really inspired you?
Yeah, so I started studying, I was just fascinated about sex and sexuality when I was 17, you know, like every 17-year-old male. But instead of playing video games and stuff like that, I was reading and I was studying and I was researching, and eventually I just started practicing, and I'd learn something and I'd practice, and after a while, like, I really just started getting into the mind, and whenever I would see a block with a girlfriend or a lover, I would see a block and I would guide her through that to get her to this state of full release, what we call full release, which is a step or two beyond orgasm. So there's like orgasm, and then there's completely losing your mind and leaving the planet and being gone and having all your stories and all your blocks and everything completely gone. And so that's what I've been guiding people through. And at the time, it was ultimate sexual pleasure. And then once I learned hypnotherapy and I started learning more about, you know, the therapeutic aspects and the hypnosis, I realized that the state of orgasm is a profound state of trance, like the most profound state of trance. They have brain scans on women who are in orgasm, and over 80 areas of the brain are activated during orgasm, and other areas are shut down. The areas of the fear and anxiety centers are shut down. The vigilance centers are shut down. The centers where she's like, you know, watching her surroundings, done.
The ego shuts down.
The ego completely shuts down. Yeah. So all of her stories are just gone, and they have to be gone to achieve this state. And so once your brain's in that state, this is where we use the hypnosis. This is the explosive sexual healing part of it that we've developed, is we come up with the affirmations beforehand that she needs to hear, and then we're throwing those in while she's in her 30-minute orgasm.
And she's saying them with us, so it's really integrating on a really deep, deep, deep level.
Yeah, so she's screaming them, we're screaming them.
We're crying.
We're just, we're right there with her.
It's a huge emotional release. It's
yeah,
so cathartic.
We get in there with her, and then we take her where she needs to be, and we get her there. Yeah, and so the reason we use the G-spot over the clitoris, of course, is the clit is, you know, 10, 20-second orgasm. G-spot is indefinite.
Yes, and the G-spot holds all the trauma.
Yes.
And all the history, and the woman can process her fear and her anger and her grief if she is touched appropriately in that spot.
The G-spot is the clitoral sponge. It's the urethral sponge, and it is a sponge. It holds trauma, it holds emotions, it holds energy. And it doesn't have the chance to get released. And so we have women that are, you know, 55 years old come in, and we give them this release, and they lay there and they're saying, I always knew there was something else in there. I always knew there was something that needed to come out. And after 55 years, it's out.
Wow.
And that's
and then it's so life-changing.
And then after the session, her and I are just hugging and crying, and like, this is why we do what we do.
Yes.
Because no one will ever have this experience unless we bring this to the world.
Yes.
And that's our mission.
Yeah, fantastic. Congratulations that you found each other and that you're doing this. And I hope many people will find you and by watching this program and send their wives to you or come to you as a couple for this experience.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's much more than just a G-spot orgasm, because we dive deep into exactly what they need to work through beforehand. So the sessions we do 3-hour sessions, and the first hour and a half are figuring out what they need, like where their traumas have been, where their pain spots have been, not only in their sexual relationships, but in their, in their relationships in their world. It could be business, it could be with their family,
friends.
Yeah, and so that's the first hour and a half, is getting all that figured out, and it hurts. It's painful. It's not all pleasure, and she's doing the energy work.
Yeah, and often that pain is something that, I mean, some people have chronic pain, but often the pain that comes up is something that they didn't even realize they were carrying, because it's been there so long.
Yes.
And just to not, they think it's a part of them, and it's not. And so when that's able to release, it opens up so many doors.
Yeah. Yeah, so the first half is finding those pain spots, and the second half is the releasing them.
Yeah, we have women getting angry, getting mad. We'll have them throwing fits if they need to. I mean, they don't have to, but if it's appropriate, whatever the body needs to do to release it.
And there may also be sessions where you don't do the G-spot, or couples where you don't go there because they're not open, or or they are. Some people are already open.
Right. I mean, we never force it. I mean, the G-spot is, what I keep saying too, is that the G-spot is a wonderful tool. It is an amazing tool. It is a powerful tool, but it's just another tool. And so the energy work, the body work that we do is healing. And especially if we're dealing with someone who's experienced sexual trauma, which 1 in 4 women have, it may take them more time. They may need to be more about honoring their body and honoring where they're at than pushing through it or muscling through it. So
we make sure that we know exactly where they're at, and we do not push them.
Right.
And we've gone through full 3-hour sessions where they're face down the entire time.
Absolutely.
And it's just, it's back massage. It's just, contact, and it's having her invite us on, invite my touch.
And the stop technique.
And we have them say stop at different intervals. Just say stop, whether they feel it or not, just so because I mean, if there's a severe sexual trauma, they go into the freeze response where their body shuts down and they just let whoever do whatever. They just let their lover, have his way while they completely check out. So we keep them engaged, and so we just keep bringing them back.
And again, much of this is subconscious. They're not doing it, intentionally, or they're not even aware of it until after it's happened, and then they're, oh, I was in freeze.
People that are interested can have a free 30-minute session with you.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we do a free 30-minute phone call. We call it a strategy session. And so they call and they'll talk to me for 30 minutes about exactly what they need, and then we'll tell them how we can best help them, maybe about results we've had in the past, and just give them clarity to what it is that we can give them.
Yeah, so that they can get comfortable with you.
Right. Yeah, we only work with people that we're comfortable with, and that we need to make sure it's a good match, because of the work that we do
and the space that we hold. And we've been told this by so many clients, we really strive to just create this safe, sacred space for women to just be able to be free and be inappropriate, it's okay to... Inappropriate. It's not inappropriate. This is our body's natural function, is to ejaculate, and to, a lot of women are worried about, what if I pee, or what if this, or what if that. So all of those different things come in, and just to give them a safe space to let anything that comes up is perfect. And honoring that, because we're suppressed,
It's our goal to give them the safest space they have ever had, make them feel more safe than they've ever felt, being in their body and being in their sex, being in their sexuality and being able to express it,
just being free,
without being judged.
I have to say that with all my experience talking to so many people about this topic, that there's something very clear, purposeful, and refreshing about you two. You're very young for having this kind of wisdom and clarity and ability to heal people.
Thank you.
And to do sexual healing.
Thank you.
Very, very impressive.
It's teamwork.
Yeah.
We work really well together.
We were made to work together. Yeah, we were really made by design to work together. Thank you.
Yeah, so I've been studying only, the Western side, the brain scans, the science, the medical reports. I work with the body and the mind, and then I've
spent years studying the energetic body, the etheric body. I mean, just working through energy work.
Yeah, so
we're east,
when I get
west.
stuck on something, she knows what it is. She says, tell me about your mom's mom, and they'll start crying. Or, you know, she's clairvoyant. She hears things. She sees things.
You see things.
She sees chords.
Yeah.
She says you have a cord connected to your
we've got to cut this.
Your ex. It's very
Absolutely.
obvious. Yes.
Yeah.
You know, that like we do this
it is
stuff
our
that
own
nobody
unique
else does.
thing.
And so like we like being able to say, no, it's nothing like Tantra. And then having people say, well, is it like this? No, it's nothing like that. Like whatever it is, it's nothing like that.
Sure. That's good to say that. It's
Right.
good to be clear about that. Yeah, you came to this through your own path, through your own learning.
Kind of our own
and
intuition.
your own
and
intuition, your
it's
own relationship.
evolved.
Yeah,
Being
we're listening.
Twin
We're
flames.
we're a channel. We're listening to something more powerful than us. Like I can't even take responsibility for
It's
creating
true.
this.
It's
Like
true.
we're
What
just
we
paying
create
attention.
between the two of us it's coming through us, but it's not coming from us. Yeah.
What's hot to you? What's most hot to you?
What's hot?
What's hot?
What's hot? Good question. Seeing my beautiful wife thrive is hot to me. Seeing her bright and shiny and glowing and just feminine and just like like I mean when she walks into a room and everyone's head turns and like just from her energy, that's hot to me.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's hot to me.
Thank you.
I think that's that's hot to every man, right? When their wife is just fully expressed and not held back.
Yes, and that does reflect on you.
It
Yeah.
does.
Her hotness
thank
and
you.
radiance
Thank
does
you.
reflect on you.
And that has to do with him being able to hold space. You know, I mean, he's able to ground and hold space, which is, I mean, that's what allows a woman to be free and to have that energy. So
His ability to hold space.
just hold space. Yeah, that's all it is. Ground it. Yeah.
How can people find you?
We have a website at www.explosivesexualhealing.com. Good luck not remembering that one. That's why we got it.
It has the phone number people can call.
Yeah, there's all kinds of contact info. And so the first step would be we do a free 30-minute strategy session where they call, and we really like to make sure that we're connected with our clients and make sure that we're a good fit. So we're interviewing them while they're interviewing us, and to make sure this is going to be a partnership. And so it's a 30-minute strategy session where they tell us exactly what they need, and we tell them how we're going to get them there. Great.
Thank you so much for being here, for doing what you're doing. This was Private Matters. I'm Max van Praag. Here we explore what is intimacy and we help people thrive all over the world in their intimate relationships. Thank you for watching. We'll be back with more.
Até o dia que vou voltar. Saudades, minha terra, São Nicolau. Saudades, minha terra, São Nicolau.